Tracy here, and welcome to this training on confident conversations. In this course, I'll show you how to build your confidence in speaking. You've joined my foundation package to learn how to unlock your voice to lift your profile, presence, and profit. And this is the first of my 3 packages that will take you to speaking one-on-one right up to the international stage. But before we go any further, I'd like to ask you a question. Tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild, precious life? What is it that you want to do? Okay, let's talk about how we're going to learn to have a confident conversation with a person we don't know. And it always starts by building a relationship with your audience. Now, whether that audience is your partner, your child, someone at work, or you've walked into a social event and there's someone that you've never met before, a stranger. So you need to be able to develop a confident relationship with the stranger. Successful speaking is all about understanding that our communication and our self-confidence are very critical. Before planning how you speak, you need to know what your identity is and your pitch. So how do you do that? How do you have a confident conversation for success? Successful relationships are all about meeting our core needs. Successful partnerships are about understanding that our core needs must be met. For example, it's possible to love someone, but really not love your life together. Some people trudge along in life pretending not to know how deeply off-kilter their marriage, their relationship, their partnership is. Even their work. Is that you? Has that happened to you? We all have basic human needs. It's a universal longing to be known and to be loved. We all need self-development, and your storytelling will add value to others. So that means if you have a business based on your passion, then you need to be able to tell a story that will help others understand the value that you bring to them with your business. So storytelling is absolutely critical in every single conversation you have. So what we have to do is transform the way we speak, the way we ask, and the way we listen. And it is much easier than you think. For a lot of people, they're shy. They're really shy and they just don't know where to start or how to start. And I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible for you to learn, breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. So we need to know and understand the way we speak. So that's how we speak, what we look like, what we sound like. The way we ask questions, whether they're open questions or closed questions, and the way we listen. Are we really listening with intent? Are we listening to be informed? Even people who wield significant power withhold their real thoughts and feelings from those central to their success and happiness. It's all about preserving our survival by gaining the approval and support of others, whether they be a boss, a customer, co-worker, a family member, or a friend, who we believe hold the keys to the room where everything we want and need is kept. So to ensure these power brokers are on our side, we think that we must please them. And this longing to please others is not a fault, but sometimes we take it way too far. So when faced with the moment of truth, we find ourselves hiding the truth behind the door in return for approval. I've done that so many times in my former career, trying to hide who I really was, thinking that it pleased other people. All you're doing is robbing yourself of your life. So what's that behind the door? Oh, nothing important, just my entire identity. Can I make you a coffee? Been there, done it. Yes, you have. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here with me right now. Some people are fearful of showing their true selves and think it's wrong to act confidently. I was like that once. You must demonstrate self-confidence to speak in front of other people. Whether that's one-on-one or whether that's one-on-many, you have to be able to demonstrate that you're confident to be able to do that. Some people are very fearful of showing their real selves and think it's wrong to put their welfare and their interests first. Know someone like that? I know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women like that. I mean, what would people think if you weren't perfect? So what are you hiding? What are you pretending not to know? Have you had an aha moment? Oh boy, have I had aha moments. Of course you have. If you haven't, you're going to have one soon. It's a time when you realize that you're unrecognizable even to yourself. It's that moment when you realize that you've spent a lifetime looking after the needs and the desires of everyone else at work and at home, but you forgot yourself. You've developed amnesia about who you are and what you once wanted to do in life and all the possibilities that you could have had. Does that sound familiar? Have you shelved all your dreams to keep everyone else happy? Well, we're going to help you unlock that. Righto, why have you done that? What happens when you do shelve your dreams? You develop habits, bad habits. You need to know the habits that stand in your way. And one of the biggies, it's that P word, procrastination. Procrastination is all about preventing you from getting ahead, stopping you from doing what you want to do for you. And people say, oh, you're so selfish because you want to do something. Now, when we procrastinate, we stop ourselves, and we stop ourselves from doing something because of the good old F word. F word is fear, not what you are thinking. It's fear. Fear that we're not good enough, that we don't look good enough, that we're too dumb, that we're not smart enough. Fear goes hand in hand with procrastination. And then what do? You have fear, you procrastinate because of fear, then you isolate yourself. You isolate yourself away from the exact people you should be with, like-minded people. And a lot of abuse in the relationships is done this way. So the abuser will isolate the victim so that they can't be around people who love and care for them. And that is part of not looking after yourself. So breaking away from those bad habits is very, very difficult, and we've all been there at some stage. So we procrastinate, we have fear, we isolate ourselves from like-minded people who make sure that we jump up and get ahead and move forward. And with that, we have poor self-esteem, which keeps us down there. We're just not good enough. We don't look good enough. We don't sound good enough. We're not dressing well. It goes on and on and on. And then what happens? We lack confidence to try or start anything else in our lives. So our dreams are pushed down, right down this big black hole, and you keep trudging through your life until one day you'll have that aha moment. And I can remember distinctly my aha moment. I was in the shower and I was washing my hair and I was thinking, is this it? Is this all there is to my life? And I was in my 40s and I think I could probably live to around about 90 by the look of all my relatives. And I thought, oh, am I going to live like this the rest of my life? No way. So what happens then? You've had your aha moment. You need to come out from behind yourself. You won't articulate your needs to yourself, let alone to your work team or life partner, unless you see getting your needs met as a reasonable expectation. And believe me, it is extremely reasonable. So what you need to do is open the permission door just far enough to consider that you have a right to clarify your position, state your view of reality, and ask for what you want. Coming out from behind yourself is part of the search for being happy in your own skin. It's a search for your individuality, or what's commonly referred to as your authenticity. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you'll start to live your own life. And this is when you realize that you can raise the bar on the experiences of your life. And it's a moment when you honor who you really are and how you live your life, which is brought together into alignment. No more dumbing down your soul's deepest desires to get approval from others. So, how do we connect with another person? Okay, so you know that you've got some bad habits that you have to deal with. And once you have got past that and you have the desire to meet other people, then you're ready to start. How do we start communicating at the really very simplest level, one-on-one with a stranger? There's your first test. Walking into a room or into an event or into a party, anywhere where there's a stranger. How do you start communicating at that very simplest level, one-on-one with a stranger? Well, we use a method called FORM, F-O-R-M. So what's your form? What's it about? Your form is about 4 words: family, organization, recreation, and me. When you introduce yourself to someone and you use the method FORM, you will develop a meaningful conversation with the person, whether they be a stranger or someone that you might have seen before but you've never spent time talking to. And why do we use the word meaningful conversation? Because we just don't want to talk to someone just for the sake of talking to them. We want to develop a conversation that develops a friendship, that develops into something else later. So if you are trying to strike up a conversation with a work colleague, someone who works near you, but you've never met them, then this is how you're going to do it. You're going to use the FORM method. So first of all, you're going to start with family. So you're going to, hey there, I'm Tracy, and I am here at this party tonight with so-and-so, and I'm really looking forward to meeting lots of people. I live down the road, and I'm married with 2 kids. And tell me about yourself. Now you're going to go for family first. So you're going to say, do you live close by with your family? Do you have any children? So what you're going to do now is you're going to dig into your toolbox of questions. Lots and lots and lots of questions. Now that should not be hard. You should be able to ask question after question after question around the topic of family. I've got 2 kids. Mine are grown up. Oh, mine are under 5. Oh, wow. Okay, my kids work here and here, and they live in this state and this state, and they're this age and this age. They have partners. They don't have partners. This is what they do for their jobs. How about you? Oh, you've got 2 little toddlers. How gorgeous. How old are they? And do you work, or do you live a stay-at-home mum? So there's lots and lots of questions that you can use to bridge the gap of anything about family. So all you have to do is start thinking of questions, whether they be open or closed questions, and always open questions, because an open question is a question that demands someone respond to you. So you're going to start by you talking about family. And then you're going to go into the next topic, which is organization, and that's work. All right, that 4-letter word, work. Oh, I'm self-employed. I work from home, but I travel all over Australia and all over the world. Where do you work? Oh, I'm a stay-at-home mum. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. You're so lucky. Do you enjoy that? How long do you think you'll stay at home for? Blah, blah, blah. So it goes on and on. So you're pulling out questions, natural questions that you should not be afraid of, because you would have asked those questions to people over the years. They're not difficult questions. You don't need a degree in medicine to be able to answer these questions. Just be your average person. It isn't rocket science. So far you're building up in your toolbox questions that have meaning around the word family and questions about organization or work. What's the next one? The next one is recreation. So what do you do that makes you happy? For me, I love making jewelry. I love writing. I love singing. I love going to the races. It goes on and on and on. That's why it's very easy for me to talk to people, and it's very easy for people to talk to me, because I can keep talking. And this is what you're going to learn to try and do. So recreation is, what are the things that you love to do? Oh, I love going swimming. Oh, whereabouts do you swim? And do you do laps, or what do you do? And are you swimming for a reason? Yeah, I want to go in the Masters. Oh, wow. Any particular stroke that you like to use? What sort of races do you want to go in? And it goes on and on and on. Oh, I just like to swim in the beach. Okay. You're talking about anything recreation, the things that aren't about work that make people happy. Hobbies, recreation. The last one is me. So you can always talk about me then. And once again, you're talking about yourself. So you're finishing, you're going, you've asked about family, you've asked about their family, you've told them about yours. You've asked them about their work, you've told them about yours. You've asked them about their hobbies, you've told them about yours. And now you're going to keep that meaningful conversation going by telling them a little bit about you. Okay, I'm an author. I've written 2 books. One's a business book and one's a children's book, and I'm planning my 3rd book now. I love networking, going to networking events. You too? Oh, great. What's some of the networking events you've been to? Oh, yes. Well, this is the next one I want to go to. Yeah, why don't we go together? Come on. Let's swap phone numbers. And then you go on and on and on. But the whole idea is that if you can develop a meaningful conversation with another person, you don't want it to finish there. You want to be able to further develop that partnership with somebody. You want to be able to develop it, whether it's professional or social or work-wise. You want to be able to develop it so the next time you see that person, hi, so-and-so, how are you? How are you going? Really good. You can strike up another conversation. But it means that the next time you walk into that party with the same people, you'll know one more person. So that's living your own life. That means you're getting your needs met. So you can play around with that and think about lots and lots and lots of different questions that you could ask people. So you're actually starting to fill your toolkit with questions. Now, let's think one stage more now. You're not going to feel confident talking to anyone unless you really know yourself very well. The good, the bad, and the bleeding ugly. In a book, the characters of a subject describes their distinctive trait, qualities, and personality. So that's the character of a subject. And the author always describes them. They describe their hair color, their eye color, their age, their personality, their moods, their gait, their voice. So they set the scene so that you almost know that character. The character informs the reader of the subject's identity. So your identity is your distinguishing individuality and your uniqueness. Confidence in your own identity speaks volumes to your audience, whether that audience is one-on-one, your 5-year-old child, whether it's a family member, whether it's a work colleague, whether it's a stranger, or whether it's a client, or whether you're up on a stage speaking to hundreds of people. Knowing your own identity and having confidence in knowing your identity speaks volumes to your audience. So, being confident with your identity means that you recognize 5 different things about yourself. Number 1 is your personality. What sort of personality have you got? Well, I know people tell me all the time, I'm super, super confident. I appear super, super confident. I am loud. I am proud. I'm not afraid to ask a question. I'm not afraid to meet people. I'm not afraid to walk into a room. I can stand and talk to one person. I can stand on stage and talk to 300, 3,000. It doesn't worry me. But I haven't always been like that. Once upon a time in my life, I was painfully shy. I was so shy, I couldn't even eat my lunch at school in front of people. But I have learned in my career to use my voice, and I've done that by unlocking my voice, and that's helped me with my confidence. So this is what we're doing here today. We're helping you unlock your voice. So I want you to have a think about the different personality traits that you have. Your personality. I'm loud, I speak quickly, I'm proud, I love life, I laugh a lot, and I make the most out of my life. Do you remember that question I asked you right at the beginning? Tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild, precious life? You're going to have to keep asking yourself that question. You need to. So what are the qualities about you? The qualities about you. So you're kind, you're sharing, you're caring, you're compassionate. You can be angry. You can also be very assertive. So all those different qualities about you. And what are your traits? The sorts of things that you do regularly, the traits, your routine things. I use my arms and hands very expressively when I speak. I use my face muscles, and I use expression, and I use my eyes to look at people. I have no fear in doing that. They're my traits. People know if they're talking to me, I will look them in the eye and talk to them. People know that when I talk, I always use my hands and I always use my arms, and I have always done that. People know that I have immense control over the volume of the way I speak and how I speak. And people also know that I am able to move my voice around to suit me. So I can talk very, very quietly, or I can speak very loudly. I can conduct myself like that. And the very last of those elements, those 5 elements, is your presence. Presence, and that's not the gifted variety, but it is a gift, your presence. It's how you enter a room. Your presence is something that you can change and you can improve on. Your presence when you walk into a room tells a person in 3 seconds flat if you're confident or not. And you will have a confidence presence if you understand your identity. So if you were to be an author with writing a book and you're in it, you're the character, you need to be able to write down a description about you. I'm tall, got short hair, blue eyes, slim, I have big feet, I like wearing big earrings, I have a loud booming voice, I laugh a lot, I'm kind, and people have a lot of fun with me. What is your presence? You need to find out. So that's the sort of things that we're looking at today in our Confident Conversations. So thank you for coming along. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you today, and I look forward to meeting with you in our webinar. But right now, I'd like you to work along in your workbooks and resources, and I hope that you enjoy your very first encounter with a stranger and try out those questions in your toolbox. It's bye for me now. We'll see you later. Cheers.